Today's topic of conversation is how can I know for certain if I can retire? After I read that, I was like, man, that's a terrible title. So, sorry. Retirement, what is it? I think this is something that really is highly personal. In my conversations throughout the years I've been doing this, everybody seems to have a slightly different answer, but they kind of fall into one of two categories. The first one being, I really don't like what I'm doing. I want to get enough money so that I can finally stop doing that. That's kind of like camp number one, right? So I'm sure how many people, show of hands, know somebody like that in their world? I know a lot of them, right? They're out there. The second camp is kind of I think a better place mentally, emotionally to be, which is I really love what I'm doing. Retirement for me means I can keep doing this, but I don't have to. If I want to stop at some point, if I want to go, whatever, fly to Arizona to see the grandkids or kids, whatever, I can do that, take some time off. Very different, but in the end, everybody has their own sort of meaning. This is the big question, and I hear this question more from the 50 and up crowd than I do from the 30 and up crowd. Can I retire? And people ask that because they don't know. All right, they don't know, will I have enough money? How much should I have? How long should I plan to be alive in retirement? These kind of things. So I can help find the answer, but in the end, I'm going to ask a bunch of questions first from anybody that you introduce to me to be able to find out what is the finish line. And anytime has anybody ever run a race before? You got some fit-looking people out there, right? Todd's like up. Right. So you never, ever, with only a couple exceptions out there, there's a couple crazy races, that you ever go run a race without knowing what the finish line is. In my world, in the financial planning arena, it is absolutely critical to know what that finish line is. It can either be an age. A lot of people say, hey, 65, whatever, that's a baseline. Honestly, for anybody in their 40s or younger, that's really 67 now. That's a whole separate conversation, but that's part of the finish line. The other finish line is how much money should I have accumulated to be able to just like stop, turn off the day job. The other piece is what kind of lifestyle do you want to live? So that could be anything from I have certain things that I want to fund, paying for grandkids, college, or whatever, to certain things that I have to fund, like my rent, my mortgage, utility bills, things like that. Take a look at all that stuff. I think the last time I did this presentation, or a presentation like this one, I showed something that if you, not now, but later, you just go Google personal financial pyramid, something like this will pop up, and everyone that you know who is 18 or older is in one of these three brackets. Everyone you know, and a lot of people are probably honestly in two of these. It's not the easiest to read, but the bottom base of the pyramid says protection. Protect what you have, protect what you can't afford to lose. So a lot of people that I meet with, getting started in their professional world and in their career, or getting out of school, they're in that zone. The bulk of us in this room are probably in the wealth accumulation. We have a job, we've been in a career for a while, we're saving, we're living our lives, taking care of kids, trying to put money aside. The top and the rest of this presentation is going to be about wealth distribution, which is getting close to retirement. And wealth distribution sounds fancy. All it means is I'm going to start taking the money that I've accumulated and use it either for myself to live on in retirement or to give it to kids, grandkids. If you have a lot that you've accumulated, maybe give it to charities or other people that you care about. Really briefly, I could talk about this for 2 hours, but I won't. 2012, JP Morgan did a survey. They took in a lot of input from people, and traditionally, this was the breakdown for where retirement income is coming from people. So sorry, you can't see. I don't know that 42% of someone's retirement income is going to continue to be Social Security. A lot of people I meet with say, Brady, don't even factor Social Security in. We'll figure that out. If I get it, it'll be gravy, right? That's been a pretty big deal historically for people in retirement. The other piece that I'll draw your attention to is 14% pensions. Not a lot of people have pensions anymore. And pensions were basically, like you get 30 years at a company and you get a golden watch and a paycheck every month even though you're not working anymore. That's a pension. There aren't a lot of those out there. So 56% of what has been traditional income sources for people in retirement may not exist going forward. Okay, I have 5 minutes left. I want to take about 4.5 to talk about this. There's something in our industry that I didn't come up with, that a brilliant guy came up with several years ago that is not even widely recognized yet within the financial services industry, called the 4-box strategy. And I'm not going to go into it in too granular detail, but here's how it breaks down. There are 4 boxes. 2 of them fall under expenses, and 2 of them fall under income sources. Here's where I add value to people. The expenses box, the top one is called fixed. All right, so that's what we talked about: your rent, your food, your utilities, your car payment, whatever you have to pay out of pocket that you know every month, got to pay it, right? Just to live, got to pay it. And we all have those expenses. Some of those go away in retirement, some of them don't. The other expense is called desired. So these are the fun things. These are, if I have extra money, this is what I want to do. It could be join a traveling golf team and go, play golf all over the country, do whatever. Go watch the Cardinals play in every stadium in the U.S., all that kind of fun stuff, right? Bucket list stuff. Just travel, going to see the kids, going to see the grandkids. If there's not money left over, these things don't happen, right? Because we got to take care of the fixed expenses first. What I spend my time doing is help people identify what are the sources of income in their world if they decide to retire, when they decide to retire, and which one of these two boxes is it going to be in. Is it going to be guaranteed income in the form of some sort of Social Security benefit, or some sort of pension that they may have, or some sort of inheritance that they may have, or some sort of trust money that they may have, whatever the case may be. There's many different sources. More often than not, we're going to spend a lot more time probably talking about the non-guaranteed sources, right? Money that would be available to you from taking money out of a 401k, those people who have a 401k and work for a larger company. People tend to take money out of an individual retirement account or an IRA. Pretty much, rental income, different things that are out there can fall into different boxes, but just knowing what you have is a big, big deal. And I will tell you, most of the people I sit down with don't have a good handle on where their expenses fit in this world. So this is one of the last slides because I'm going to talk about this for a little bit too, and then we'll open up for questions. My differentiating factor, how I can help the people in your world who care about retirement or have questions about retirement, is this slide. I can help someone turn non-guaranteed income into guaranteed income several different ways. Because of the fact that MassMutual allows me to have different licenses, because of the makeup of the company, because of the different product offerings that are available through MassMutual, I can do that for people. And the reason that that is important is because in the end, my job, as much as someone will work with me to let me do it, is to match up guaranteed income with fixed expenses to make sure that there's enough guaranteed income to take care of fixed expenses. So when somebody retires, they know whatever happens, the fixed stuff is taken care of. If there's extra money on the guaranteed side, we'll divert it down and we'll use guaranteed income to pay for the desired expenses. More times than not, there's not enough up here, so I have to work with them on strategies to use the non-guaranteed income to pay for both boxes, one or both boxes. So when I was practicing last night, I was seeing these boxes in my head, and now I just realized I'm up here standing in front of you going like this. So I got one laugh, yeah. So I will say the individual investor cannot do this alone. All of the people that I meet that are sort of do-it-yourselfers are out there. They're watching the market. Some of them may be smarter than I am and can actually do a better job of picking stocks and mutual funds. But the strategic part that we just talked about today, that you just saw, they cannot execute by themselves. Because in the end, they need products that they can't create themselves as an individual investor by getting on E-Trade or whatever to create their own portfolios. That's why they need somebody like me. And I put this last piece up here, neither can most financial advisors. Most people out there, especially people that I meet and talk with, they say, hey, I already got a guy. That's great, but your guy probably can't do this 4-box strategy, even if they wanted to, even if they're great guys, even if they're family, because they can't literally access all the different products that it takes to turn non-guaranteed income into guaranteed income, or to take guaranteed income and do some other things with it, so you can actually redistribute that and take care of the nice, the wants, the desired stuff out there. I don't expect you to know who's in your world that has mismatched boxes. All I hope that you would think about is Brady has something that other advisors don't have. If I have someone in my world who's interested in retirement or cares about it or thinks about it, he's somebody that I should get them in front of. It's as simple as, hey, this is Jay. I know we haven't talked for a while. I was thinking about you the other day. Got a sharp guy in my B&I group named Brady. You should take his phone call. He does a lot of cool stuff about retirement. If they say yes, that's a referral for you. If they say no. So summary, most people want to retire. Most who want to retire don't know where their finish line is. I can help. The 4-box strategy is an awesome tool. Many people in your sphere are stuck at number 1 and number 2. Be the bridge again to number 3. And referrals are always welcome. And I have 9 seconds. Let me pause it on. Okay. So that's pretty much it. I took most of the time. There's not a lot of time for questions. Thank you. But I'll take one or two if we have one or two questions. If not, it will not hurt my feelings. We'll keep cruising with the meeting.
So like when you're talking to somebody, when your friend or something, they're like, oh, I have a financial right or something, like what can you say to them to like, for them to be able to figure out if their person can do that?
I would say, don't even try. Don't even try. Here's what I say when I'm on the phone. If somebody says, hey, Brady, thanks for calling me. I appreciate you reaching out. I already have somebody. That's great, Janet. I would be amazed if you did. A lot of what I do is not really necessarily relationship replacement. I'm just either, worst case, I'm a second look to make you feel better. What you have is really what you need. Or on the off chance that I find something that isn't already covered in your current planning, then we can have a further conversation if you want to. And that's it. I mean, I will tell you, 99% of the people, Scott's laughing, 99% of the people say, I got a guy, I'm covered. Most of them are covered to the extent that that other guy can help them. But a lot of the advisors in our world, the Merrill Lynch people, the Edward Jones guys, the Raymond James guys, Charles Schwab guys, all of these different wirehouse people only really focus on asset management, getting dollars in the market in some form, and they totally are outside the realm of being able to help people move the non-guaranteed income into guaranteed income. They just can't do it. So thank you, great question. Sort of creeping beyond 10 minutes, but.
I was just curious, especially with the demise of pension plans and then for my generation, obviously the demise of Social Security, do you see an increase in the market for annuities as a portion of that guarantee? I don't want to take your magic out of your secret sauce, but.
Yeah, I mean, that's one answer. Yeah, so an annuity is.
It's just ranch, you know?
It's just ranch. It's all ranch. That is something that I think is not, it's a product that's not well understood, and it can be a big part of what people need, but it's not a perfect product either. So,
because there are some obviously that are not so great, and there are some that are.
Yep, absolutely. I'm a broker, so to the extent that some products are better than others, I can shop those types of things if that's a solution for someone across a bunch of different carriers, about 70 different carriers. So, but good question. Thank you.
Along with that, but probably life insurance and some things.
Life insurance could be one. I'm not going to talk about that necessarily because I'm the investment advisor for the group, and that's Scott's world. But I mean, that's a part of it as well. Yeah. So, and I have those licenses. Yeah. What else? Anything else? Awesome. Thank you guys so much for your attention. I appreciate it. Back to our regularly scheduled program.